now I'm here, and how about we?
Oh, that's true. It's true. I was supposed to talk with you in English, but I forgot about it.
I understand.
Because you're Dutch. You're my, you're from the same country as I came from Suriname, of course. But can you tell me more about your flight to the top? Because the last couple of months, or let's say last year, you've been making big steps up. How come?
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk English as discussed, and I'm gonna give you a warning in advance because I'm Dutch, like you said, so I might talk English with a Dutch accent, but sometimes I automatically switch to a British one. I don't know how it happens. It's just, you know, man's been listening to a lot of UK music, watching a lot of series like Top Boy and that, so sometimes it's the British accent as well. And I ain't even go cap. Sometimes it might be the New York accent as well, because, you know, watch a lot of New York shit and that, so yeah, it's crazy.
You go from left to right.
Yeah.
Multi-talented.
Yeah. However, so yeah, I've been making big steps, you know, growing in my career. And how comes? Yeah, you know, I train hard, and a lot of people say to me, I was made for this. You know, I came from the struggle, from the trenches. You know, been through a lot, and that has made me as a person. It has given me strength, which keeps me moving forward.
Well, it gave you the strength to move forward, but something happened. When I spoke to you, let's say maybe a year and a half ago, you were Don, but after that you became Don. You became like a showman.
Yeah.
You introduced yourself to Mr. Verhoeven. You were calling him out. You were saying a lot of things on social media that was very good for you. So how come that you exploded?
I think it's a combination of different factors. For example, you know, I can kickbox, I can fight, I got some fighting skills, but also besides that, this is just how I am. You know, I'm just a very extrovert person. I like to make a show. I'm a showman. I'm just being myself, and that also comes from the things I've been through. You know, I've been to the darkest places in life, and I overcame them. And what I said, they made my character. So, for example, even my brand, Don Snow, these shirts, they not only stand for me as a fighter, but like it stands for discipline. It stands for the struggle and overcoming those obstacles in life, you know, and that's what I represent.
Can you guys imagine that he was plus 90 kilo a couple of years ago?
Plus 100.
Plus 100. He was a fat ass.
I was a heavyweight. I had tits and all of that.
Oh my God!
Yeah, crazy.
Respect.
It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing that he's doing like he's doing now, because he's doing a great job, and I love how he fights, because I don't love watching fighters acting like they're good on the press conference, and then when they are in the ring, you see a lot of BS, you know. I don't like that. And he has a big mouth, but he's just showing it in the ring, and I love that. So, looking back to your last fight against Ismail Aidi, how was that? Can you talk us through that fight?
Yeah, of course. Like, my last fight was in the 22nd of February, and I fought Ismail Aidi. I won on second round knockout.
It was a great fight.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
To do business.
Yeah,
Awesome
what happened there was, before that fight, I had a fight in 2024 against Mehdi Aitel Haj. I lost that one, and it was a controversial loss, you know what I'm saying? So that made me realize I had to go harder, a lot harder. So I went in the gym for 7 months straight and just kept working, do a lot of powerlifting, you know, just becoming the best version of myself. And in the fight with Ayadi, that's what I showed, that's what I did. I did what I had to do. I had to kill him.
But did you change something with Ivan Hippolyte, your trainer? Did you change something during your training weeks or months? What did change?
I did actually, like in my last fight before Ayadi, I told the world I wanted to kick more because I'm a kickboxer, you know, but in my fights I box a lot, but I want to kick more. So in the training, even during sparring on the pads, I was kicking a lot more, which we've seen in my fight. And that's the thing that did it, I guess, because I was distracting him with my kicks, the low kicks. And a lot of fighters told me, even Rico and his team, when I was in the program of House of Glory, like, just kickbox, just do your thing in the ring and the knockout will fall on its own. You don't have to force it. And that's what I've tried before in my Glory fights before Ayadi. I wanted to force the knockout. I was so focused on it, so preoccupied that I forgot to kickbox. And what I did here was, you know, I'm just going to kickbox with him, and then the knockout fell. And I even was shocked. I was just kickboxing.
Wasn't it the left hook?
It was the left hook. All of a sudden, I gave him a left hook. I noticed that I caught him with it, so I proceeded on that, and I just saw him sleeping. I was like, oh, damn, well, they were right. I just have to kickbox, and it'll happen on its own.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of comments on the fights, and every time I'm in the comments, I'm telling this guy, man, use every weapon you have, you know? Make punches, and with a low kick, make punches and with a kick, and continue doing that. Make it kickboxing, and not just only boxing. Especially with the heavyweights, you see a lot of guys making only the punches, and they forget about the kicks. And that's what you did during that fight. And I was so happy. Did you guys see the fight? His last fight against Ismail?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. How was it? I thoroughly enjoyed the fight.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you came to the business the way I looked at the spectator. You were crisp, yeah, and I believe nothing was wasted. And then the knockout fell.
Exactly.
And as a spectator, you could see it coming. All right,
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and just.
And if you've of course watched the fight that we had last week, the Glory 99.
Yeah.
How was it for you?
So last fight was Glory heavyweight tournament, Glory 99, and it was amazing. Like the whole event, I was, standing. I was not even sitting. I was just standing and enjoying all the knockouts that I felt.
The whole 8 hours?
Yeah, I was walking around. I was also in the fan zone. A lot of fans came.
Yeah,
more than
a couple of my
expected.
fighters came.
Oh, is it? Is it? Oh, wow.
Lizzie, a little girl, blonde girl.
Blonde girl, Lizzie. Is she fired from your gym?
She's really
She's so cute.
Yeah.
She was so cute. Yeah. So I got like 100 plus fans who came and had an interaction with me, and it was so heartwarming to see and to receive all that love. And after that, I just went to the arena and I saw the fights, and there were 16 heavyweight fights with 9 knockouts, like more than half, and it was crazy, man. You had to be there. Yeah.
Glory is not working together again with Virulent. That's why I wasn't there. We had a watch party at a gym. That's why I wasn't there, because I always watch I love to watch the heavyweight fights, especially when it's a tournament. But this time it was 16 fights, and I loved all the fights. There were a couple of fights that I thought, this one is.
Like which one, for example?
Yeah.
Well, it's not not just the fight, but I was looking at the fighters, how they present themselves. Mm-hmm. How can you step in the ring just overweight? Just overweight. They didn't look as well trained like athletes, you know. They didn't look like that. And if you're a heavyweight, it doesn't mean that you have to be heavy. You understand?
Yeah.
Just look like a fighter. Look like a fighter, you know. Look like a strong guy. Some of these guys didn't look like a strong guy. That was my. If I look at the Last Man Standing, that was my point of criticism. If I talk about the Last Man Standing, if you look at all these fights, these 16 fights, which one was standing out?
Of course, I guess we all agree on that. That's Bahram Rajabzadeh. the golden wolf.
Yeah.
He's crazy, fam.
That is a warrior.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a real warrior.
Exactly.
Continue.
Like this fighter I'm gonna name now disappointed me in his last few fights, especially when he had to fight for the title against Rico. But this time he did great, and that was Tariq Kuki Osaro. I have to give him credits where credits is due. You know, give that man his props. He did a great job. Yeah.
What do you think about Nico Horta? He surprised me because he fought against Opasic.
Oh yeah.
Opasic came from ONE FC, a top promotion in Asia, and well, he came in like he was going to destroy everybody.
Exactly.
You know,
they hyped him up like
crazy.
They
really hyped him up. But Nico Horta, his nickname is Big Sexy.
Big Sexy. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. He did a really, really great job.
He almost killed the man.
Did you saw the event? You were there, right?
I was there as well. Yeah.
How was it for you?
Yeah, good, and especially the fights. You know that especially Big Sexy, it was good.
Yeah.
Because
he was looking sexy.
Yeah. He was hyped too much, Opasic, and now you can see only one punch can knock heavyweights out.
Exactly.
So that's good
what
for
a punch.
Yeah.
So it was a great straight ride.
I'll be thinking twice before I go to the heavyweight.
Yeah.
But you were calling Faruva out.
Yeah,
he was saying, I'm going to destroy all the heavyweights.
I was just getting, like, actually, I was that serious. Like,
really?
Yeah, like there was a hype going around me.
I was like, it's a joke.
Listen, I'm going to tell you the joke, yeah? So there was a hype going on around me. After my fight against Figgy Landman, I was in an interview and I was over enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And I said like, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna get Hamisha. I'm gonna get a title, and after that, I'm gonna go to the heavyweight and get Rico his title. You know, I was like that. I was feeling myself, and the fans online were like, oh my God, this Don Snow guy is crazy, but you know what? We're gonna hype him. So they were commenting my name under every video of Glory, Videoland. No, of course not. What are you talking about, man?
I thought he called up his friends, hey, show some comments, comments.
There were like hundreds and hundreds of comments. So after that, some of the Glory officials, they called me. They was like, yo, Don, we got a nice option for you. How do you feel about calling out Rico Verhoeven?
Yeah.
And I was like, let's fucking do it. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
And I went there, I challenged him, and then I met him at the gym a few weeks after that. And I was like, Rico, so you know, I called you out, it was a joke, but how do you feel about me going to the heavyweight? Like, not now, maybe in like 3 or 5 years. And he was like, Don, listen, I'm gonna give you the best advice of your life. I know, you know, you're willing, you're motivated, and if you go to the heavyweight, you're gonna be able to punch like a heavyweight, but you're not going to be able to receive like a heavyweight. And that made me think, you know, I was like, should I do it, should I not? But then again, if I look at the heavyweights nowadays, even some fighters that fought in the tournament, bruv, come on, man, I could have them. Like, I'd kill them. Now I'm serious. Not even. I'm not even being arrogant or something.
No,
come on, man.
This is the spirit, right?
Come on, man, bro. But if you look at those guys,
but
come on, man.
Yeah, some of the guys they should stay at home.
Yeah.
They should have stayed at home.
That's what I'm saying.
And some of the fighters were not really doing kickboxing, in my opinion. They were just boxing. They was just trying to destroy the other one with punches, and that's not enough to be in a fight with a kickboxer. Because if you go to, let's say, you go to a shooting incident, don't bring a knife.
Yeah.
You know.
But Remy, how come? Because you've been telling this for years.
Yeah.
I've heard this comment on podcasts, on the Glory things. You were saying this for years, and still so many just box. How come?
They hate the pain of making a low kick, and maybe someone's gonna block him.
Yeah.
You're gonna get hurt on your shin, right?
I understand.
And that's why I think they don't wanna put the low kicks in, you know, because you know you're gonna get hurt if somebody blocks him. You know. But still, we did it.
They're
in
just
the past.
softies.
Yeah, they're
or is it? Of course, if it's blocked, but if is the setup not right? I just try to understand.
Yeah, if the setup is not right, you're gonna, of course, kick in a block, and then you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
But still, even if we got hurt back in the days, you would still make with the same shin that it's hurt, will make that low kick. and that's what they do now. They're concentrated on punching only, and that is not enough in a kickboxing match. And that's why I believe that the light heavyweights and going down, they are doing great job in kickboxing, but the heavyweights are just punching.
They're lazy.
They're lazy.
If I speak for myself, it's a combination of different things. For example, I know my boxing works. I know I can knock guys out with a liver punch or a hook. So they also say never change a winning team. But then again, if I only want to box, I should go into boxing. You know, it's kickboxing, and a kick.
True.
A kick, like what is the biggest muscle on your body? It's your legs. Know what I'm saying. So if you kick, it can be even more effective than a punch. Also, why I box more than I kick is laziness. Like it takes more energy to throw a kick than to throw a punch. You know what I'm saying? So.
And you know what? You know, if you have to destroy a house, don't begin at the top.
Yeah.
Of course.
Chop him from down under. You know, chop him, and then we'll collapse at the end. Looking at your next fight, you have to fight against, well, not my favorite fighters, but he's one of these fighters that I love watching. Ismail.
And why do you love watching him?
No, because he's attacking. Exactly. He loves making his counter. He loves to attack with arms and legs. And I've seen him in a couple of tournaments, so not just one fight, but two or three fights. And even if his toe were broken, he would still advance to the next level and show everybody that he's a real warrior. That's why I love watching him.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. Yeah, he's Moroccan, and those Moroccan fighters, they got the fire heart, you know what I'm saying? So he's a lion, and I'm aware of that. And I never underestimate my opponents, but I'm confident that I have the advantage in this one.
And why is that?
Why is that? Because, you know, he's not a natural welterweight. I am, though. And, you know, he's doing good, but this is going to be his first fight in the welterweight division. Like, even his last fight in Glory was in catchweight at 73 kilos. So I don't even know if he's ready for this power. I know I am for his, because, you know, I spar with heavyweights. I fought even bigger guys than him. Took a hit on the chin, went down, came back up again and won the fight. So I know I'm ready for him, but is he ready for me is the question. I'm saying,
I love that. I love that. Man, I'm looking forward to that fight because you're one of my favorite fighters. He's one of my favorite fighters, and they are two guys still young, still hungry to reach the top. So I'm really looking forward to that fight. But did you had a lot of fights outside of Holland, because you have to travel now to Miami?
Yeah,
of course.
True.
Have you experienced the jet lag? You know, other environment. It's going to be hot out there. Did you ever did that before? Yeah,
actually, as one of the few out of my neighborhood, I'm from Amsterdam East, and at a very young age, I was already fighting abroad. Like, I was fighting in Manchester, even Belgium, Estonia. I went to Thailand, so I fought abroad, and I know how it is to fly over to another country and, you know, get used to the altitude change, the difference in altitude. What he said, when you're flying, you're keeping a lot more weight, so when you're in the country, you have to lose it again. Even the jet lag I've had before, so I know how to adapt well. Acclimatize.
If looking at Younes Smaili, what's going to be your tactic? Is just kickboxing like you did with your last fight, or are you gonna use another tactic?
Yeah. So what I've noticed is boxing works very good. I know I got the boxing advantage against him. I even in training developed some new tricks, which you guys are gonna see. I'm not gonna spoil everything, but you can expect fireworks. Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna see some fireworks. I love how he, how he said it. I know how he done his last fight. I'm looking forward to that fight because it's gonna be a great clash between you guys. Looking at the latest developments on Glory, what do you think about Glory doing all these things with this tournament, changing everything, even going from Videoland to the Zone and all that? What do you think about all these developments?
Yeah, last year I had an interview with one of the Glory officials for a school assignment, and I asked him about this, like, what's the future with Glory? What are you guys planning on, and why are you trying all these different stuff? And they were like, you know, if you look at the Dutch market, they got it on lock. Like what you said was with the fight against Rico against Badr, it was total lockdown. You know, they made a lot of money and they did it twice. So the market here in the Netherlands, they got it on lock, and what they want is to expand. They want to go into the international market and see what they can reach there. And I think it's they're doing a great job, like reintroducing the tournaments, going abroad now, finally going back to America, and going from what you said, Videoland to the Zone to DAZN is also I think a really big development for them, because Videoland's only like the Netherlands.
Yeah.
DAZN is international.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in Miami, it's going to be a different concept though. It's going to be free on YouTube, and there are going to be a lot of streamers like influencers, artists, big guys from Miami. So I think that will bring a lot of exposure to Glory, which is good for the sports. Yeah.
How do you see Glory in 5 years?
Glory in 5 years, I think there'll be. We just said like boxing is the third biggest sport in the world. Kickboxing isn't too bad, but if you don't look right, how we say in Dutch, it'll be one of the biggest sports in the world.
Kickboxing?
Kickboxing. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I even saw some things on Instagram about the UFC thinking about introducing kickboxing into the UFC as well. So, you know what I'm saying? And even if you look at MMA, like UFC for example, what are the biggest fights we love to watch? It's Pereira versus an Adesanya.
Yeah.
And what is that basically? It is it's
stand-up.
kickboxing with just a little bit of wrestling in it.
That's true.
So we love watching kickboxing, we just don't know it yet.
Yeah, but is it going to be on Glory? Is Glory going to be the biggest promotion in the world in kickboxing?
I think for sure. Because
In 5 years?
Yeah, for sure. If you look at the talent we got in Glory, like not even myself, but for example,
he's talking about himself. He's talking about himself.
not even myself,
That's okay.
man.
That's okay.
Nah, not even myself. But look at the welterweight division. We got killers like Hamisha.
Yeah.
We got Tijani Bestati. We got the champ Chico Kwasi. Then we got the middleweight Donovan Visser, for the most technical fight I've ever seen.
Yeah.
We got Michael Boapea, turning to be a big superstar. Like you say, he's skyrocketing the you know
The only thing that is missing with all these talented fighters is the skill to talk, the skill to promote themselves, the skill to, you know, like you. You're talking about yourself like you're the biggest fighter in the world. You will become eventually, but they need to talk more. Look,
I get what you're saying.
You were talking about Michael Boapea. When he steps in the ring, you know it's going to be fireworks. When Rajab Sadeh starts talking, even though we don't understand the F what he's saying, but you love how he's talking. He's going like blah 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 blah, and you're like, oh. Now we're gonna see some fighting, you know. And that's what I miss with all these talented fighters.
Are you saying so Glory misses superstars like in the UFC that know how to talk, that know how to?
Well, not only the superstars, but to build the stars. Pereira, where does he come from? He comes from Glory. Adesanya, where does he come from? He comes from Glory. As soon as they step into UFC, the market starts to change. The budget is different, of course. UFC has big budget, you know, to promote these guys, and they went skyrocketed, and that's a big difference. I believe that some of these guys that he just mentioned, they can be a world star. And they just need the push in the right way, and that's what I believe.
But Glory working together now with Betr, like the company of Jake Paul, I think it's going the right direction.
I hope so. I really hope so.
And also need to fight more. I think they need to fight more. You know, Tarzan.
From Infusion.
He don't want to sign Glory because he isn't fighting then a lot. So if you are a young fighter, you want to fight. So I can imagine that you want to fight 4 or 5 to 6 times a year.
Don, I'm gonna thank you. I'm looking forward to that clash with Smaili, and we're hoping for a great fight in Miami. I hope you will come back as soon as you fought him to talk about that fight, because it's going to be a great clash, and I'm really, really looking forward to that. So do a good job. And you know what I always say, if you have a shitty fight, I will talk shit about you.
Don't worry, I'll put Suriname on the map.
That's what I love.
Yeah.